Vikings and J.J. McCarthy making his return to action. Of course, got injured toward his meniscus in the first preseason game last year. Herm missed the entire season. So basically a rookie. He got the start, got one drive, and made the most of it, finding Jordan Addison here for 5. Addison, of course, suspended for the first 3 games of the regular season. It's too bad because McCarthy and he seem to have a little chemistry.
Yes, and I like his poise in the pocket. He keeps his eyes down the field. He's not looking to run right away. He can at times, but I think he can play from the pocket. And you see it right there? He didn't flinch. He's got somebody at his legs. He keeps his eyes down the field. And that's important for a quarterback. No panic in this guy.
He keeps it going later in the drive. McCarthy looking for Lucky Jackson.
A little high.
Overshot that one a little bit. So we got a 4th down, and we talked about Jackson Dart. Well, J.J. McCarthy, of course, has the legs. We saw this at Michigan.
Contain the quarterback. Don't let him get outside.
Vikings win it 20-10. J.J. McCarthy, 1 drive, gets points out of the drive, 4 of 7 for 30 yards. Just a cameo, but what'd you see?
Confidence. And I think if you are the Minnesota Vikings, this guy didn't play a whole lot. And you say, well, he's playing now. And if you're a Viking fan, you're going, oh, okay. Kevin O'Connell, his coach, former quarterback, played at San Diego State. Actually, he was a quarterback on the team that my son played on, a wide receiver. So Kevin knows a little bit something about the quarterback. He loves this guy. He loves this guy. And I think the Minnesota Vikings, they found themselves a good quarterback. That's 2 of them all of a sudden. Yeah. 2 young quarterbacks, good for football. It's good for the National Football League when you can develop young quarterbacks.
As they did with Sam Darnold a year ago.
Yes.
And Sam Darnold parlayed that, of course, into a big paycheck there.
Anytime soon.
Yep. Another complicated backfield is in Minnesota, and we heard from a friend of the show, Kevin O'Connell, back on April 1st, talking about the potential split between Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason.
The big thing we learned about Aaron Jones last year is he can be an every down back. He can be, he was a featured part of our offense. But what we wanted to make sure that we were doing is we were using him in a way that allowed him to be his most impactful self when he has historically had that 1A, 1B backfield structure. He can be a total game changer every time he touches the ball. So it was always about bringing Aaron back. Huge leadership role on our team. Really assumed that from day one. But what are we going to pair him with? I do think Jordan's going to bring something to the table, in those short yardage situations, those goal line situations, goal to go, where we've really left a lot to be desired as a football team.
The great Kevin O'Connell, Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
literally tell.
Well, look at that, and look at the dramatic pullback from the Vikings helmet on our wall. It's very artistic.
Wow,
we're getting arty
shades
on
of, Goodfellas.
Yeah, exactly. We've got Scorsese back there. That's awesome. I love it. I'm digging that. That's nice. We're not just your average fantasy football show. We've got tracking shots and ISOs, and maybe we'll do some special effects tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe. Well, how much do you love an Aaron Jones or Jordan Mason? And my main question here is, how run-heavy do you think that the Vikings will be with, effectively a rookie quarterback in J.J. McCarthy?
I think they're probably a little bit. I think it's a pretty good offensive line. I think they will be reasonably run heavy, try to take some pressure off of McCarthy. They also use their running backs in the passing game quite a bit. Aaron Jones last year, 12% target share. He was top 8 among running backs in both receptions and receiving yards among running backs. Listen, free Aaron Jones. You guys know this. I've loved Aaron Jones forever and ever. He's one of my favorite players in the NFL. He was really productive last year. But I think you heard it from Kevin O'Connell right there, for reading between the lines. Like, they think he can be a feature back, but they also, look, he's on the wrong side of 30. He is somebody that does get banged up. And so I think what they want to do here is try to ease the burden on him. I think people were surprised when they actively traded for Jordan Mason. And we've seen them, they've sort of gone through these, hey, let's kick the tires on Cam Akers again. They've sort of tried to find complementary running backs, in the Ty Chandlers of the world, and they haven't really landed anyone. I think Jordan Mason is a really, really great value this year. I'm at running back 34. I've been basically as a top 100 player overall. It's a guy who averaged over 5 yards a carry in 2024. Again, that was with the Niners, but he's not really involved in the passing game that much. But I do think when you're hearing the camp reports, it really feels like it's going to be 1A, 1B. That they're going to split the workload in the backfield. Jones is going to be the passing down back, but Mason's going to be more of the goal line back. So you figure maybe they each get 10 carries a game. Jones gets like 4 targets a game, but then 2 out of 3 goal line carries goes to Jordan Mason. And so I do think Jordan Mason, especially because he's younger, more explosive, less injury prone, potentially, I think he might be the better value in drafts this year.
Yep. Question for you, Lawrence, from Liberty Hog 42, probably an American resident.
Yeah.
Even if Aaron Jones stays healthy, do you guys think Mason will outscore him in touchdowns this year, Lawrence?
Touchdowns, wow, that is a big one. That could definitely go even. I could see it, yeah, because not for
I say yes.
I would
take that bet.
I'm gonna go with yeah too. But the thing about Jordan Mason, for what he does well, he is a really good back. This is a guy who would have ran for 1,300, 1,400 yards last season had he got the opportunity to start every game. And Matthew, you mentioned the 5 yards per carry. He averages 5.3 yards per carry for his career. So every year he's averaged 1 year, 6 yards a carry, 5.2, 5.3. So he's consistently over 5 yards a carry. So when you talk about Aaron Jones, who got 15 carries last season, we do want to get that down to 10 to 12 for Aaron Jones, get some more carries in there for Jordan Mason. So if we expect them to be by the goal line and if they're going to get there by the run game, Jordan Mason can score more touchdowns.
Aaron Jones had 20 goal to go rush attempts last year. 20 goal to go rush attempts. He converted 5 of them.
Yeah, so that's going to be Jordan Mason right there.
Just saying.
I think the smoking gun there too is that Jordan Mason could have gotten a bigger role somewhere else. The Vikings must have promised it, or at least given him some confident assurance. Yeah, they must have given him some confidence.
All right, Vikings Nation, buckle up because we've got a juicy trade rumor flying around, and this one could add a serious dog to our wide receiver room. I'm talking about Jennings. Yeah, that Jennings from the Niners. And there's a real conversation about whether the Vikings should trade for him. So, would you swap Jalen Speedy Naylor and a mid-round pick for a 28-year-old WR2 with elite contested catch numbers? Let's talk about it. So, here's the deal. According to Adam Schefter, Jennings has officially asked for a contract extension from the 49ers. And if he doesn't get it, he's asking for a trade. He's entering the final year of a 2-year, $11.8 million deal. And he knows his value. This isn't just some gadget guy. In 2024, Jennings had a breakout year. 77 receptions, 975 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's WR2 level production. And get this, he finished 3rd in the NFL in contested catch rate, converting over 62% of them. That's elite. For his career, he's right around 60%. Dude's a big slot physical mismatch, and he just knows how to win reps. Now, here's the trade idea that's been floating around. Vikings receive Jennings, 49ers receive Jalen Naylor, plus a conditional 4th-round pick, 2026, maybe 2027 if conditions don't hit. Some say it'd take a 3rd rounder. Others say a 5th and Naylor would get it done. This proposal splits the difference. Let's break down what makes Jennings special. He's not the fastest guy on the field, but he doesn't need to be. He's a technician in traffic. He ranked 12th in the NFL in yards per route run last year. Super efficient. He's a physical receiver, brings toughness, and plays with that dog mentality. That's literally how the Niners describe him. A dog. You put him in the slot with JJ and Addison outside. You're giving defensive coordinators nightmares. Now, let's not act like this would be a walk in the park. The contract is the tricky part. He wants an extension. If you trade for him, you gotta pay him. And as much as I like Jennings, the numbers get tight. You've already got Justin Jefferson, 4 years, $140 million TJ Hawkinson, 4 years, $66 million Addison eligible for extension in 2026, and you just spent money shoring up both lines. But here's the wild card. JJ McCarthy's on a rookie deal. That gives Kwesi some flexibility to move pieces around right now. Sam Ekstrom on Locked On Vikings even said he'd front load a 2-year, $25 million extension for Jennings. Pay more now, cap hit less later. Makes sense if you're trying to win while JJ is cheap. Now, what about Speedy Naylor? He's in the final year of his rookie deal, super fast, tons of upside, but hasn't been able to stay healthy. Plus, with guys like Jefferson Addison Felton, Tristan Jackson, Lucky Jackson, and even Thayer Thomas competing, it's crowded. So yeah, we like Speedy, but are we really gonna miss him if Jennings steps in and produces right away? Especially when Jennings gives you injury insurance and a starting level replacement if Addison ends up suspended from that DUI mess in July. And there's more. Jennings has ties to this locker room. He was teammates with Ty Chandler back at Tennessee. He played with Jordan Mason on our new RB on the 49ers from 2022 to 2024. And remember, Kwesi spent 7 years in the 49ers front office. He knows this guy. O'Connell was also in SF briefly. This ain't just a wild fantasy football idea. There are actual dots you can connect. But let's keep it real. This is probably a long shot. The Vikings are already projected to be over the cap in 2026. You're adding another mid-tier contract to a roster that already has star money locked up. And as Ekstrom put it, this feels like one of those slightly too splashy moves for a front office that tends to play it safe. But if it did happen, man, you'd have J.J. Addison Jennings, Hawkinson McCarthy throwing lasers. You'd have one of the most balanced, dangerous skill groups in the NFC. And that's not even counting guys like Aaron Jones and Chandler in the backfield. You're buying high on Jennings, yeah. But he's in his prime. You're not just getting a WR3. You're getting a versatile weapon who lets your offense stay explosive if one guy goes down. So here's my question to you guys. Would you trade Jalen Naylor and a conditional fourth for Jauan Jennings, knowing you'd probably have to pay him $10 to $12 million a year? Would you roll the dice for a proven contested catch guy in his prime? Or would you hold on to draft capital and trust our depth? Drop your takes in the comments. I read every single one. I want to know what Skull Nation thinks about this one. If you're hyped about the idea, or if you just enjoy hearing real talk about Vikings rumors, stats, and analysis like this, smash that like button, share the video with your Vikings crew, and make sure you're subscribed to Report Vikings so you never miss a drop. We're building something special here. Let's keep it growing. Alright, that's it for now. I'll catch you next time with more Vikings news, rumors, and straight up opinion from a fan who bleeds purple and gold. Skull baby, let's get it.